Well, hello folks. Good to see you made it. We are at the beautiful Hillman Ferry campground on Land Between the Lakes in Kentucky. We're at the northern end of Land Between the Lakes. It actually covers Kentucky and Tennessee. It goes across the borders. And it's a pretty interesting place. We've actually got here real early. And our site was still taken, and we had a pretty good site 43, but you don't have to sign out of these sites until 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock. And so the gentleman who was running the booth gave us another site, which is a real good site too. Out. Unfortunately, it seems to have way too many sticks and way too many rotten dogs nearby. But there are a gazillion campsites here. I think there's 183 at this campground alone. And I was trying to figure out which sites were good, because you look at it and it just looks packed. It looks like it's ghetto camping. But the truth is, the campsites are pretty nicely spaced. They've got quite a lot of room around them, and they're situated so that you're not looking right at your neighbor's van or whatever. So this is really nice. I'm not going to be able to give you a list of sites that I think are the best, because there'd be 100 of them. So if you want to come here, it's hard to come here. It's hard to find this place. It is not on recreation.gov. It is not on Reservation America, or America Reservation America, whatever it is. So you have to Google Land Between the Lakes or Hillman Ferry Campground, and you'll come to the concession that runs the whole camping experience here. There must be 10 or 15 campgrounds here, and this is one of the biggest ones. And the other ones are, there's two other ones that are similar in size. And I'll put maps up so you can see how huge they are. You won't be able to really tell anything from the map because it's just so big. It's just cluttered. But there are also all these little campgrounds that are just kind of like first come, first served dispersed campgrounds, but they have electricity, and they're $20 or $22, and they're pretty nice too. And I think if I came back here, I'd probably stay in one of those. Although they don't have bathrooms, we've got the bathroom right up behind me. It's like 20 steps to get to the showers. Okay, out. He's killing the stick. He's just destroying the stick. He's so happy. We've been driving around. They have a elk and buffalo prairie here. We've been looking for the elk and the buffalo, and we stopped at some nature places, and we stopped at some other campgrounds. So we've been running around while the trailer sits here warming up. We've got electricity and water. We didn't originally have water because every amenity that you add, this campground has everything. It has primitive, it has full hookups, it has just electricity, just water, just electricity and water, and everything adds $5. So originally we just said we just would like electricity in case it's cold, and thank God for that, because it is cold. But when they moved us off the site, the guy was nice enough to give me a site that had water too. We're not really using it. We did fill our tank, and we'll probably fill the tea kettle from the faucet, but we are not hooked up as much as we were, because we're only here for 2 nights, and we're going to leave early to get to Silver Mines. Let me show you this campsite. This is pretty typical of all the sites here. We are next to this gully. I don't know what it is. It's a water runoff area, I guess. There are signs that say flood area, be careful. But we are on the upper side of the road, And that means that we had to back up this incredible washed out little driveway. Not a big deal for the 4Runner, but their 4Runner was a little bit in my way, but I had a lot of room, really. The site right next to me has the same driveway, but I don't think you'd put an RV in there. I think you'd put a little tent or something. So that may be a first come first serve site. It does have electricity and water, so I don't know if they would get rid of that. But of course, this is a lakeside campground, so there are a lot of people with boats and paddle boards and kayaks and all that stuff. So really nice. See that there's a site just up the hill from me, and there's a site way down here next to me on the other side of the gully, but we do have the gully between us. You can see along the lake there's a van down at that site, which is a pretty nice site. I don't know how big an RV you could really get there. The van is awesome, but here's another one. I really like this one. This is awesome. Great big driveway right on the lake, and a lot of room, you know, between their tent and the picnic table. So that's great. And this RV here is angled so it's looking at the water, and though they're close to the next RV, you know, they're separated pretty good and they're not looking at each other. So that's pretty nice. I like the setups. And then the next one over is like that, but that's kind of how everything is. Here's my closest inhabited neighbor. But the real problem that you have is people that have boats and RVs and cars, and so they have 2 or 3 cars and they don't know where they're putting them all. And you know, if you just look at the campground, I mean, you've got RVs littered everywhere, but they're nicely spaced. I can't say that I would turn down any of these campsites. They're just really kind of nice. Well, we went to the Elk and Bison Prairie, and it's a great big fenced-in area with a perimeter road that drives around. I think it's 2 miles for the perimeter road, and you drive all over looking for the bison and the elk. And luckily, you can actually keep driving around it forever, because that's what I did. We started about 2 o'clock, and it takes you a while to get around the whole thing in the prairie area, but you don't see anything. And it was, yeah, after 2 o'clock, I figured, you know, they're government employees. They probably punch out and go home at 2:30 or 3 o'clock. But anyways, we saw some wallows for the buffalo. There are wallows everywhere for the buffaloes, so that you know they're there. And then finally, we saw the buffalo. Well, after 3 trips around the loop, we finally see the bison, which are all over. I'm told there's only about 35 of them. Somebody count these. See if this is the entire herd. So those are the big old bison on the Bison and Elk Prairie. There are no other animals in this area. No deer, no pigs, no anything else that harms the bison or the prairie. They keep the deer out because they don't do well with the elk. We're just wandering around some of the old back roads. A lot of them have cemeteries on them or other interesting things. And geez, we came upon this fire tower that's not listed anywhere on any map or any documentation, any write-up that I can find. But that's an impressive fire tower, and we are way up in the air. We're on one of the higher mountains, I guess. So that's kind of cool. They have the bottom stairs taken out, but you know what? I don't think that would make much difference to a lot of people. but a lot of the stairs are gone. It would be a pretty scary hike up to the top. So this is the Paradise Cemetery. It's off one of the roads that goes to nowhere. And this, I believe, is where they lay out the bodies and get them ready to be buried. I'm not real positive on that. I could be wrong. So it says the site of the Paradise Christian Union Church and Cemetery, built in 1895, donated by B.F. Smith in 1899, and first burial Frank Brake in 1900. They don't seem to follow normal protocol. The oldest stones, this is died 1921, are in the middle. Then there's new ones all around. Here looks like an old one over there. Let's go over there. But a lot of these are 66, 56, 1944. It's a nice little cemetery. There's a few graves that are not marked here, obviously. And then there are some plastic plants. This is Jasper Travis Folks. Worked with a guy named Folks. Only 26 years old. I go to a lot of cemeteries, and I don't see these very often, but I just think it's kind of neat if people do this. This is their headstone, and they're obviously not dead yet. And they've got, you know, their plots all set out where everybody's going to be, all down the cemetery, all down the way. And on the back, they got their children's names. Apparently they're still alive too. I don't know. It's a little gruesome, but on the other hand, it's kind of nice to be prepared. You can take the boy out of the water, but you can't take the water out of the boy, or vice versa. We found this little, it's a road crossing of this stream. Seems to be pretty cute. Be a wonderful place to hide some trout. Probably hiding up under the cut. Well, we came up the road and we see this marker there that says 112, which usually says there's a cemetery around here somewhere. And we found this, the Smith Infant Cemetery, but I don't see any headstones or any markers. Now, this is an area that the tornado came through, and it looks like the loggers came in and took all the big trees out. So I don't know if it's under all that slash on the hill, or if they just don't have markers for infants, because usually they don't. Usually it's just a little rock or something with a name on it, but we're looking right into the sun. This isn't going to come out very well, but I don't see anything. So the infant cemetery is really non-existent. Okay, since you're always bugging me to do cooking shows, I'm going to do a cooking show that's going to be a little elaborate. And I was going to do it in my underwear, but I decided to put on some things. I'm using the air fryer to make toast, or something like toast. And I'm using my inductive hot pot to cook some chicken. And I'm going to try to make kind of a chicken cordon bleu. I'm going to take chicken and ham and put some cheese on it. So I'm going to use some jalapeno cheese. That I kind of like this stuff. It kind of gives it a different flavor. And we're going to add some Tostitos salsa on it, on the toast. So that'll be the meal. And I do, when I buy chicken, you buy chicken breasts in the family pack for, I don't know, there's 10 chicken breasts. And what I do is I set them on my cutting board, and then I set another cutting board next to them, and I run the knife across the cutting boards so that I get these real thin sliced fillets of the chicken. So I don't have a great big chicken breast, but I do have these really nice thin chicken breasts, and I freeze them, and so they're kind of like sandwich bread. That's going to go in there and thaw out. We're going to cook it a little slowly so it thaws and doesn't burn and lose all its tender juiciness. Now I washed my hands for the... Right, the chicken, or the bread has toasted. We're going to put that on medium, which is, it says 275 degrees Fahrenheit, but I don't think I believe those numbers anymore. Now I'm cooking on the air fryer. I'm cooking on the induction plate. We're going to see if the breaker blows, because I think that's more than 20 amps between the two appliances. A little salt and pepper. So I bought sliced meat, sliced honey ham. So I'm going to take a small chunk of ham. I think in reality this is 3 slices from the package. Throw that in the frying pan to warm it up with the chicken. Alright, I've taken 2 of the 3 pieces of ham and put them on top of the cheese, which is on the bread. I'm still waiting for the chicken. And I think I'm going to put these in the air fryer for a minute just to melt the cheese and keep that warm. I'll put the chicken and the ham and the cheese. Putting a little salsa on the top. Not a ton, just enough. Make it somewhat more healthy. There we have it. A chicken cordon bleu salsa open face sandwich. I'm going to eat this. I'll eat it with my 3-tine fork. Which I'm told is not a fork, it's a trident. Because we did not thaw the chicken, it's a little on the tough side. Oh, but that's good. That's very good. Takes just a little bit of the jalapenos on the cheese. The salsa is just awesome. The ham's in there, just a hint of ham. On bread. Try something crazy sometime. Maybe you'll like it. I'm going to eat this. I will see you on the next scene. Stay tuned. Well, folks, I think I'm going to end this here with the May apples that are coming up all around, and maybe a few other flowers. We have about another 12 to 20 minutes of video I want to show, so I think tomorrow I will put up the rest of the Land Between the Lakes video. There's a lot about this place that's pretty cool, so hope you enjoyed this. Thumbs up if I piqued your interest.
thumbs down if I didn't. Give me a comment on what you liked and what you didn't. And I hope you're subscribed. Thanks, folks. Have a great day.